Hi there, my name is Andy Frost, and this is my story in 185 seconds. It was at the age of 18 that everything changed. I grew up in a Christian family. My old man was a vicar. I was brought up going to church every single week. But then in my teenage years, I began to really wrestle with the idea of God. God seemed far and distant, not really close to me and where I was at. At school, trying to fit in, I did everything else that other teenagers do, trying to work out who I really am. I started chasing girls and wearing links. I started drinking and partying, trying to find meaning and purpose in my life. At the age of 18, I went to go and work on a camp in America through a company called Camp America. It's a clever name. And in that role, I had to fill in a massive application form of things I could teach American children and young people. I scanned this list, and one of the things that I knew I could teach was Bible stories. The next thing I knew, I got put on a Salvation Army camp working with gang members in Seattle in Northwest USA. During the time that I arrived, I was completely out of my depth. They were expecting a Christian young man to come and share with these gang guys all about the Christian faith. But the truth was, I didn't really believe it myself. During that summer, I felt too embarrassed to own up to not having a faith of my own, so I kind of went along with the whole thing. And in my head, I understood the Christian message. In my head, I understood the Bible stories. So I began to share these with the guys that I was working with. There were some really tough guys there who'd done some pretty horrendous things with their lives. But as I began sharing, I began seeing that these young people were encountering God. Something was changing in their lives. They were being transformed and changed and weeping as they encountered God, discovering his forgiveness and his hope in their lives. It was as I saw this happening, I realized that the Christian faith was more than just some stories from history. It was true. And that God wasn't just distant, but God wanted to be present in my life. So at the age of 18, I got on my knees and I surrendered my life over to God and said, God, take my life and use it for your purposes. Being a Christian is not always easy. But there's two things that I've discovered personally that have really helped me. The first is this: we can know God's peace in the here and now. Recently, during COVID, there's been so much fear going around, but I've had a real sense of God's peace, that no matter what, God's peace is with me. And second of all, I've discovered that ultimately I have a purpose. I'm not just a mistake. God has created each and every one of us with a purpose. I challenge you, if you've never before explored the Christian faith, then to explore what it says, because I believe that God is in the business of transforming and changing lives, of giving each of us a sense of his peace and a purpose.